Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thanks so much for being here. San Francisco in-person audience, LinkedIn virtual audience. Thank you very much for your attendance. My name is Jackson. I'll be your host this evening. I'm also one of the organizers of AI User Group. AI User Group's a community of professional marketers, designers, and software developers interested in the latest AI-powered tools and how we can apply them to our professional day-to-day. So we host weekly meetups for that purpose, and this is AI for Marketers. Before we get started, just a couple announcements. Here's tonight's agenda. First, we'll hear from Evan, then we'll hear from Zara, then we'll hear from Chongkal. At 8 o'clock, we'll do 5 minutes of open mic, so you guys can come up here exactly where I'm standing, make an announcement, introduce yourself to the in-person audience or to the LinkedIn virtual audience. This will just kick off networking before we enjoy some pizza at 8:05. So that's the plan. Sound good? Good chat. Okay, 8:50, doors close. That's important too, okay? And without further delay, one more announcement. One further delay. Call for speakers. So at AI for Marketers, we have a lot of AI tool creators, which is great. But we also want to hear from professional marketers, professional users of tools to present here. And you're more than welcome to. Just get in touch with me and let's talk about a presentation. If you can demo a use case that's relevant to your professional day-to-day and you're interested, it could be a multi-tool approach. Let's get in touch and let's talk about a possible presentation. My next AI for Marketers presentation slot is July 20th. So that is the idea. Keep that in mind and let's talk. Okay, let's get started. Our first presenter is Evan James, co-founder of Dreamwriter. The title of Evan's talk is Best Practices for Creating Premium Content Using AI. Please help me welcome Evan James.
Hi all, thank you Jackson for that very nice intro. This is actually, I've had the pleasure of attending 3 of these events, so it's great to be up on stage for this one. And great to meet all of you guys. I really love talking to marketers. You'll hear from me a little bit in my background. I'm a B2B marketer through and through. It's something that I've loved from the moment of graduating college and joining a early stage startup all the way through today. So really always great to be in a crowd with all of you. A little bit about me before getting started. So it is kind of an oddity, but I am a Bay Area native. I have a lot of pride for being here, but simultaneously have had the opportunity to live across multiple different countries. Have spent time throughout Europe, lived in Mexico, and generally speaking, I love meeting new people. So please find myself, find my co-founder Marcelo, who's over there. During the networking, we would love to talk with you, really hear about what it is that you're working on, what is a challenge for you, and see if there's anything, even if it's just pure advice and has nothing to do with Dreamwriter, I'm more than happy to do that. I used to be a consultant in a previous life. Professionally, a little bit about me, as mentioned, B2B marketer. I had the great first job experience working in social media analytics in the early 10s, which actually has a lot of parallels to what's happening with AI now, where businesses were going in, knowing they needed to be on social media, didn't know what to do. I joined a company as employee number 20. 4 years later, we were at 450 people. The company is now a unicorn. I ultimately, that took me from San Francisco to Prague to New York. I started in content marketing, moved to product marketing, ultimately was the head of America's marketing and head of North America. Wanted to get back to the Bay Area, mentioning the Bay Area native part. So came back here, joined 2 different companies, first in the digital advertising space. The second, I did something a little bit different and wild for me. I went into the gaming space. That company went public, and then I had the opportunity to join the CEO of the first company I worked for at an early stage employee experience company and was the senior vice president of marketing there. And one of the things that really kind of led me down this journey is throughout that entire experience was really seeing the power of how marketing analytics is driving so many decisions. But one of the things that it's caused is it's created a disjointed customer experience where really individuals within a marketing team or a sales team are trying to really drive the conversion rate for their particular channel and not necessarily looking at what is the unified experience all the way throughout that. So that put me on a path of really going into market research for longer than I wish, but spending time getting to understand the problems that B2B marketing leaders were facing and generally go-to-market teams as a whole. And so what I generally found is what's changed with AI in marketing, and overall, the concepts of B2B marketing have not changed. Remember a truism that was always happening in the early 10s, which was content is king. That is still true. And the reason it's true is because everything that you do as a marketer is understanding who is your customer. Who's your customer? What do they care about? What are the problems that they're facing? And how do you fit within that narrative? It's not saying, here's what I do. It's saying, all right, here's what you're doing, and here's how we fit into your overall solution. That hasn't changed one bit. But what has changed, and is changing extremely rapidly, is how tactics. And the tactics of marketing is something that AI is drastically impacting, and you're seeing it every day, and that's why there's such a gold rush that's happening right now, is everybody's trying to figure out how do you lower the time of creating content, how do you become smarter at utilizing the data, and this is something that is going to impact every marketer. And so when you're thinking about it, really thinking about it from the core concept and taking a step back and thinking about, all right, generally speaking, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get the right story into the audience and making sure that we're telling a persuasive, cohesive story that fits with the problem that they're looking at. But tactically, being open to looking at a wide set of tools and solutions to figure out, all right, how do we actually get this done so that we can convert them into end customer? So I'm going to jump into a demo of what we have today to show you a little bit about Dreamwriter. As a whole, let me put this on the full screen. As a whole, the first-time user experience looks something like this, where you come in and you would set up a brand. I'm going to jump in and show you a brand that I've created. It's very straightforward. You come in, you set your fonts, you set your brand colors, and then you go onto the next screen and you enter in a brand name. And the first link that we're entering here could be a homepage, it could be a solutions page, it could be a product page, a use case page. And what we're doing from that is we're scraping it for keywords, so that no matter who within your organization is creating content, it's always going to be relevant to your core value proposition. The second link that we're adding in is it's a text-heavy page, typically a blog or resource center, and we're using that to analyze your tone of voice, so that you're getting your grammar, your syntax, and your linguistic style. So when you're writing it, you're really making sure that you're both on message, but you're also sounding like your brand overall. So I'm gonna come in here and create a new piece of content. Let me go back to the full screen. There's two different approaches to doing that. You could do a blank canvas, and what we would do if we hit on that is it would pull suggested topics based off the keywords that we entered in. For now, I'm going to show you a content makeover. It is experimental, and the tool is in beta, so let's hang with me here. And so for this one, I entered in, oops, I'm sorry. Give me one quick second here. So we entered in for TrueWork, which is an employee verification software. And now they have multiple different audiences. And so the one that I'm entering in here is targeted at their audience of the operations department. And you click in here, and the first thing that you do is you select your page size. So right now we have slides and we have PDFs. We will shortly have fully designed emails and newsletters. Following that, we're looking at social, landing pages, and SEO optimized blogs. For now, I'll go with slides. And then you select the brand that you're working for. And then you have a couple different options. You can come in here and do a text-heavy version, which would be like a classic white paper. A highly visual one where we'll pull in relevant images based off of the keywords. A playbook, a how-to guide, industry trends, or a data-driven one. Let's go with the highly visual one. And then here's where you can go over, and if you wanted to simply repurpose content, so let's say you have a blog and now you want into a designed asset, you would pull it all the way over here. If you want to ignore the content links, so the operations page that we pulled in, you could just go to the saved brand. I'm going to go right in the middle, and that's going to really create employee verification geared at the operations department. So it'll come up with that. This is why it's an experimental. It's coming up with one suggestion. Oftentimes, most times it will come up with three. But we'll go into here, and this will create an outline. And what you can do here is then determine, all right, I like that outline, I don't like that outline. It's pulling off of the keywords of both the pages in there. You can manually edit it. You can hit try again. For now, we'll go try again. And then hit a CTA, so get a demo. It'll come up with a CTA text, and if you're happy with that, you simply hit looks great. And now what it's doing is it's taking your tone of voice, it's come up with the outline, and we selected the highly visual format, and it's pulling it all into the UI editor so that you have a piece of content that's coming out of it. It's going to be 7 or 8 pages, and generally I'd say it's about 75% complete, but you want to go through and customize it fully so that it is fully ready to go and you can utilize in either your marketing or sales campaigns. And it will finalize the finishing touches here shortly. All right, here we go. So it's going to populate into our UI editor. Ooh. All right, I'm sorry about that. This is not typical, of course, at a live demo. Hang with me a second. I'm going to go back through and just create a new piece of content, quickly go through the workflow. I'll do it with a blank canvas. I'm going to go with the AI user group for this one. All right, so it's now coming up with 3 different options based off of the homepage of the AI user group. Maybe this one is better for you, Jackson, anyways. You get a free piece of collateral at the end of this. All right, and coming up with the CTA. All right, and now it will populate in. Thank you guys for hanging with me here for a second. We are in beta, and truly this does not happen very often, but my apologies. So as mentioned, it is now pulling into the UI editor. And wow, okay. Let me just go in here. Let's see. So I'm going to jump. Oh my God. Always fun. All right, I'm going to go into my personal. Okay, so sorry about that. I don't know why. We will check on the outline here. So I pulled in something. This is what it would look like within the UI editor. You have a general first piece of content that looks something like this. If you're wanting to go in and then customize the content, what you can do is come in here. You can select the entire text. You can do classic things like making it bold, italicized, underlined, etc. Or you can write with our AI assistant. You can prompt Dreamy to write about whatever it is that you want to write about. You can also say, make it longer, make it shorter, make it more engaging, fix spelling and grammar. It's cooler at the entire content level, but you can translate any of the pieces of content into any of these different languages. For now, we can go with shortened text, and she will rewrite the text, and you can simply replace it. If you are not liking some of the images, what you can do in here is go in and replace it. You can enter in a URL, you can upload an image, or we have 5 million royalty-free images here that you can simply select one from and do all the classic things of resizing the image within that. And then if you're wanting to add more content to it, we have 26 different pages here, and you can go ahead and select one. If you were like, all right, I want to write about something, you can prompt Dreamy, or you can let her decide, and what she will do is she will reread the text, the entire piece, contextualize where you are within the piece, and add in a new page. Right now, we have charts and graphs that you're able to basically select between a column, a bar chart, a line chart. You can upload, or you can edit the data manually. In the future, we'll have an automated CSV upload. And then when you're happy with the piece at the end of it, you simply export it into PDF or PowerPoint, and you're good to go. As mentioned, we are also working on having designed assets, so having emails, and we're planning on exporting everything into a fully designed asset. So we will have HTML, so you're ready to automatically put it directly into your content management system or your marketing automation system if it's an email. And we really think that's something that is important for ensuring that you have an asset that's ready to go and it's fully designed right off the bat instead of copy and pasting everything over. Within the workspace, you have all the kind of classic things of user rights management. It's real-time collaboration within the solution. And additionally, you have the ability to translate any of the content here into one of the different languages so that if you're operating off of multiple markets, you can have the same content but going off and creating everything individually. So that's a little bit about how we're using it. I would say or the solution itself. I'd say how our customers today are using it is really being able to build out variations of content. So let's say they have an overall piece, they're wanting to talk about employment verification, but they have 5 different industries that they're targeting, and they have 5 different roles that they're targeting. You can go in and quickly and easily customize it so that you can say, all right, I have this piece of content, and I want it really, really specific to the fintech industry for the CMO. Now I really, really want it specific for the edtech industry of the CRO. And so we're getting to see something that I think is truly unique within the space, which is how do you start to make sure that you have a cohesive customer story, but you're able to really tweak and tailor that story to really, really match the customer needs and create a unique customer journey for every single buyer that's coming in and being able to do that at scale. And so I think this is something that's a major opportunity within the marketing space, which is essentially creating unique customer experiences at scale. And so that's a little bit about it. I'm going to show you one of our kind of promo videos. If it's...
Innovators, the dreamers who dance on the edge of imagination.
Oop.
The future of content generation is here. With Dreamwriter, you can transform your visions into reality, seamlessly bridging the gap between ideation and creation. Dreamwriter is more than just a tool. It's your ticket to evolving creativity, enabling you to craft premium content with ease, regardless of your writing or design.
Got it.
Revolutionize content creation.
All right, I understand the audio is a little low. So we'll follow up with the video in the follow-up email. But thank you. That's a little bit about Dreamwriter. I'll pause there and, oh my God, and happy to do any kind of Q&A.
Okay. Thanks very much, Evan. Any questions from the audience? Let's open it up. And if you'd like to ask a question, just all I ask is please stand, and when you're done, just pass the mic back to me or to the next person. You're so excited, though. You don't have a question? Okay.
Santiago, wonderful work, incredible demos. Just do that is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, one of the fun things of doing a live demo, I literally don't think I've had that experience ever. So that's the first one. Thank you to the entire community for being on my first failed demo path on stage.
No, just great demo. I'm really impressed by the latency. Thank you. It's amazingly fast. I was wondering if you could talk a little about how you guys are achieving such fast results in editing the content, considering like the streaming of GPT.
Definitely. So we are using we're using ChatGPT Turbo underneath the hood, along with multiple different AI solutions and a number of sort of proprietary code that is helping speed up everything, so that you're able to rapidly get content out the door.
Let's do the next question. Chongkal?
Evan, thank you so much for the presentation. So you basically made it, so you haven't failed it. So generally, I think you're good. The question is, what are the use cases that you are currently targeting with? Of course, you in beta, but let's say, is it, I don't know, mid-sized company salesperson who is like writing an email and need to do 25 presentations for different target audiences? Like, what would be the use cases that you're currently seeing?
Definitely. So we have two distinct kind of audiences that are using us currently. One is sort of SMB, high-value services. I'd say within that, the number one is marketing agencies overall. And what they're utilizing it for is two different things. One is their own outreach for customer acquisition. So they're saying, here's an example of some content that we can create, and here are our services. And then the other part is actually doing content creation on behalf of the customer. The other kind of key target audience that we have, and one that I think many of you guys work in, is B2B tech. And so our customers are using us in two distinct ways. I would say on the marketing side, it's creating sort of micro campaigns and creating like little mini ebooks that are highly targeted that they're utilizing. We have one company that is putting that out, putting some ad spend and using it as a lead magnet so that they're able to capture more leads and feed into the sales team. And then we also have some sales team members that are utilizing us as well, exactly what you said. So they want to take what their overall value proposition is, but then tailor it to the exact prospect so that they have something that is highly relevant to that individual within the company and the company that they're pitching.
Next question. If you guys could just help me pass this. Thank you.
Thank you. I have two questions. One is, are there any limitation? I can see the use case of like taking a white paper that is trying to reach a lot of different audiences, and then you are trying to tailor it for something smaller, bite-sized, and just repurpose all that great content. Are there any limitations to how long the documents can be that you can load in?
So you can create it as long as you want. It will automatically produce something that's 7 pages off the bat, but we do have a prospect right now that is looking to create a 75-page report, going through the process of basically going through and adding in and saying, prompting, here's what I want on the next page, here's what I want on the next page, here's what I want on the next page. We are working to get out of beta, and as we do, we're going to put it in where when you're going through and creating the content, you will say, I want each page or slide to be really text heavy or more limited in text, and I want the total length of the document to be, name your page size. So if you wanted it to be 75 pages, great. If you want it to be 3, great.
And is there a limitation to how much content it can remember? Like ChatGPT, for example, has a limitation on how much you can actually load into it before it sort of starts to forget?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we are doing an incredible amount of prompt engineering on the back end, and so we're making sure that it's contextualizing consistently where you are in the piece, and that it's flowing through that entire piece. And so basically what's happening on the back end is going back and forth and saying, here's what's been written so far, how do we have something that's relevant on this next page? Here's what's been written so far, how do you have something that's relevant on the next page?
Clever solution. I do have one more question, but if someone else has one, I will.
Please hit me with another one.
Do it.
I'm just going to dominate this Q&A. My last question is, who owns it? So I'm a brand, I'm putting my content into this. What are the user terms?
Great question. That is something that I'll probably defer to my co-founder after the presentation. I would say right now, most of the companies that are coming in are utilizing it and they own the content, but we will be speaking consistently with lawyers on that front. But for now, it's owned by the company. We're operating under a similar kind of agreement that a lot of social media companies operate.
Any other questions from the audience? Evan, I got a question. There's been a lot of exciting announcements in the last 2 days from OpenAI and at the Google Developer Conference. Any announcements in particular that stood out to you as special, exciting, particularly in the context of marketing?
Yeah, I mean, some of the OpenAI ones were just amazing in terms of and what we love to see is a lot of those types of technical breakthroughs just improve Dreamwriter over and over. And so what we're able to see with early testing, it's not live in production, is how much better the tone of voice is coming through, and really being able to match the output of what a company sounds like. And so that's going to continue to get better and better and better. I would say openly, where we are right now in terms of LLMs and its writing style, it still often sounds a little bit generic. It still isn't great at doing thought leadership, but it will get better over time. And that was an extremely exciting announcement from them, because this is a step in that direction.
Any other questions from you guys? Any questions for Evan on Dreamwriter? Evan, how do you see yourself? This is a competitive space and an exciting space. How do you see yourself differentiating yourself from the competition with Dreamwriter?
Yeah, definitely. So today we are one of the few solutions that does like a fully designed asset. Where we're going, I think, is extremely exciting. I won't give all the details of our product roadmap, but generally we're looking at ingesting more data that are showing intent about who the end audience is, along with how do you utilize marketing analytics and revenue intelligence data to drive really not just be a time-saving solution, but be a solution that is built to perform, so that you're automatically creating content that is going to work throughout the funnel. So we think that this is an area that every B2B marketer is something that is really always looking at, is how do you have a unified customer experience, but how do you have something that's going to perform from top of the funnel all the way through.
Wonderful. So any ideas about implementing OpenAI's new models behind the scenes with Dreamwriter?
Plenty of ideas. I would say they're at the idea stage at this point. So yeah, not quite ready for that one.
Fair enough. Have you considered building on Gemini?
Absolutely. So we're looking at basically going modular in the future, so that we'll have for different parts of Dreamwriter. So as mentioned, right now what we have is design PDFs and PowerPoints. We're looking at having multiple different types of assets and different tones of voice that are not only coming from the brand. And so we're going to be layering in different LLMs for each individual task that we're looking for Dreamwriter to do, so that we have the best LLM performing for each of those.
Wonderful. Any last, we probably have time for half a question from the audience. Any last questions come to mind for Evan? Anything?
Right there.
Oh, wonderful. If you guys can help me pass this.
My question's about the images. When it generates an asset that has images in it, where do they come from? Do they come from the text? Do they come from the website? Do they come from somewhere else?
Good question. So we use a company called Unsplash, and there are 5 million royalty-free images. What we're doing is, if you are writing a piece of content about social media best practices, we're using the keywords that are coming from that to find within the 5 million royalty-free images, keywords related to social media. And so it's always pulling in relevant images based off of the outline and the brand page that you put in.
Okay, let's give Evan a round of applause. Thanks so much,
Awesome.
Evan.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for our next presenter. Next, we're going to hear from Zara Zhang. Zara is head of go-to-market at Coze, and the title of Zara's talk is Every Marketer's Guide to Building AI Bots That Drive Results. And without further delay, let's hear from Zara.
Hi everyone, my name is Zara Zhang and I'm from Coze, which is a no-code AI chatbot building platform. And this is our website, coze.com. And the topic of my representation is Every Marketer's Guide to Building AI Chatbots That Drive Results. First, a little bit of self-introduction. So I'm currently leading go-to-market for Coze, and previously I was leading a B2B product marketing team. So I'm both marketing an AI product as well as using AI products as a marketer myself. And before that, I worked in VC. And then I've also been a content creator, so I've hosted 2 podcasts before. I'm doing a video podcast now, so big fan of content. And this is what I really believe in, which I'm sure all of you guys have heard this, which is AI will not replace you, but people who really know how to use AI will. So I think as marketers, the way we can enhance our competitiveness in the age of AI is really to become power users of AI tools. And I think it's really admirable that you guys are here to, at the AI user group, to learn about how you can leverage AI in your work. So, and also sometimes there might be a sense of FOMO because I'm not a coder myself, and it feels like a lot of the AI conversations are very dominated by builders and developers and people who are very technical. But I do think that non-technical folks like myself have a very valuable role to play, because at the end of the day, it's all about applications, use cases. How do these technologies actually translate into real-time, real-life value? So I think our advantage is we can become the power users who understand the use cases the best. And so Coze is a chatbot building platform. So first we can talk a little bit about why, as marketers, we should build chatbots or our personal AI co-pilots. I'm sure everyone's already using ChatGPT, and it can already do a lot for you, like writing emails, writing blog posts, etc. So why do we still need to build our personal AI chatbots when you can already just use ChatGPT? So I think there are a few reasons. One is when you're using ChatGPT, sometimes I find myself constantly having to repeat myself. So like, because it doesn't have the full context on what I'm trying to do or what my brand voice is, or like what is the background information for my task. So it's just a lot of repetition. It's very inefficient. And sometimes, and usually the output generated by ChatGPT can sometimes be very generic because it doesn't understand my company, like my business, my product, my brand, and it hallucinates a lot. And it's not, because it's mostly using its own training data, and it's not, I mean, it can connect to Google and stuff, but like if you want to connect it to other external tools, it can't always do that. And lastly, I just think the best way to learn AI is to get my hands dirty, like start building on AI. And that's why I'm a huge fan of like no-code tools like Coze, because for most of the developer tools, they require a lot of complex coding in order for you to start building on AI. But on Coze, you actually don't need to know, you don't need to have any coding background. Like anyone can just start using natural language to build your own AI co-pilot. So this is Coze. It's the no-code platform for building large language model powered chatbots. So when you go into the website, you are gonna see this bot store where you can browse chatbots that other users have built. And these are all built on top of GPT-4 or GPT 3.5. So we support the GPT models now. And the use cases range from everything from productivity to learning to coding, business, writing, characters, you name it. So it's very versatile. You can basically build anything you want. And this is what the actual building interface looks like. So building a chatbot is as simple as 4 steps. So first, you would write a prompt with natural language. So basically telling the bot who you are, what's your character, what the skills should be, and maybe some constraints. And you don't have to be a prompt master to write this, because we have a AI prompt optimizer tool that can turn a very simple prompt into a very comprehensive and structured prompt in Markdown format. And then secondly, you can add skills to your chatbot. So for example, do you want it to be able to search information on Google or Yelp or generate images with Tely. Like these are all plugins that you can add to your bot so it can leverage these external skills. And you can also add everything from custom knowledge to workflows, or maybe you want your bot to have long-term memory to remember your preferences. So these are skills that you can add. And then third, as you're configuring your bot, you can test the bot's performance in real time on the right-hand side by chatting with it. So all the changes are happening in real time. And once you've tested and everything works, you can ship it. And by shipping it, we support publishing to all the mainstream chat apps. So for example, you can very easily push your bot to Discord or Telegram or Instagram chat or Slack. So this way you can deploy your bot where your users or communities already are, or in your kind of workplace chat. So for example, we have our Discord channel, and then we just have a Coze bot in the channel answering users' questions, and the bot is trained on our product information. So, and imagine you have your own user community or Discord server. This can be a very easy way for your community to interact with your bot. And I think one highlight is our plugin library. So we have over 200 ready built plugins. So everything from Google to Tely to like Notion, YouTube, Twitter, and like Yelp trip. Like let's say you're building a trip planning bot, you can just add the Trip Advisor plugin and the Yelp plugin and Google Maps plugin, and the bot will be able to search restaurant for you in Yelp, for example. And all of these are built in, so you don't need to code them from scratch. So this makes it really easy. It really lowers the barrier to start creating your own bot without having to code. And currently we support building on top of GPT-4, and it's actually free to build on top of GPT-4 on Coze. Unless you want to publish it as an API, that costs tokens. But if you want to just build a chatbot, it's free now. And I just wanted to show a few chatbots that I use as a marketer that I think have really improved productivity. So there are a few use cases: content creation, content repurposing, and user community operations. So the first one is content creation. How do you improve the efficiency of generating blog posts or articles with AI? So this is a bot that one of our power users created called Instant SEO. So what it does is it can help you generate SEO optimized blog articles. So basically you just give it your keywords, the theme of the article you want to write, and some brief desired word count, and then your product selling points. And then it's able to analyze the top Google results and then give you a blog outline. So what I like about this bot is it's not jumping straight into writing the full blog, because usually that's like pretty bad, but it's breaking the task down step by step. So first it will find the keywords, then it will give you the outline, then it will write like one section, and then you can give it feedback on that specific section. If it looks good, then you can move on to the next section. So it's very much an iterative approach without kind of generating the whole thing all at once. So this really helps improve the quality of the output. And at the end, it can also generate the SEO metadata for you. So in this way, you can pretty much write, say, 1,000-word blog post optimized for SEO in just a few minutes. And under the hood, this bot is actually built using the multi-agent mode in Coze. So what multi-agent mode is basically you can have not just one chatbot, but a team of chatbots, each specializing in task. So in this case, we actually have 4 chatbots. So you have an analyst that can help you find the Google keywords. You have a company expert that's trained on your product knowledge and maybe brand voice. And then you have a copywriter who can actually write that article for you. And then you have an SEO expert who can generate that metadata and make sure the article is optimized for SEO. So And every sub-agent has its own prompt and skills. And then in Coze, you can just connect them with these lines and writing out the jump condition on when the agent should jump to the next one. So usually, in order to build kind of a multi-agent framework, you would need to know a lot of coding, be very technical to do that. But in Coze, as you can see, it's very visual. You can lay out everything by just drag and dropping the nodes and then writing out your prompts in natural language. And the instant SEO bot is also trained on custom knowledge. So the author actually imported a framework for best practices for writing blog posts. So this way the bot knows, okay, I'm gonna use this framework to generate the blog posts. The next chatbot I think has been really helpful is called Pixie. It's for generating video scripts, especially short videos. So basically, you can give it a video idea. Let's say you want to create some TikTok videos to promote your product, and it's going to prompt you with some questions like, what makes your product unique? Who is the target audience? What are the key features, etc. So this prompts you to think through, like, okay, what are you trying to do here? And once you give it the information, it can generate a video concept for you, like the key idea, the title, the description, and then you can give it some feedback and it refine the idea. And then it's actually able to generate a full script and storyboard complete with images, because we also have the text-to-image generation plugins like Tely or Stable Diffusion. So it's able to do these rich format output that includes both text and images and links. And with a video generation plugin, you will be able to actually generate that video as well. So this bot has been super popular on Coze. I think close to 10,000 users have been using it. The next one is something I built for myself, which is content repurposing. This is increasingly common where you might have a longer piece of content, say a long blog post or like a 10-minute video, and you want to repurpose that into short tweets or LinkedIn posts. So I built this bot, repurposing Genie. So basically, what I can do, I can just send it a YouTube video I made. The video is about 10 minutes, and then say, like, repurpose this into 3 tweets and 3 LinkedIn posts. And it does a pretty good job. Like, it's basically 80% there, and I can just modify and use it. And under the hood, so I first give it some instruction, like what's your role, what your skills should be, and what is the tone and voice of our brand, etc. And the AI can help me optimize that prompt. And then I used a few plugins. So there is a YouTube transcript plugin that can just with one click add to the bot. So the bot will be able to access the YouTube link I sent it and transcribe the YouTube video. And that's how it can repurpose that video into text. And I also gave it some custom knowledge, like our product documentation. And with our custom knowledge, you're actually able to add not just PDF and like Word documents, but also URLs, like live website links. So for our documentation, we actually have like more than 50 pages on our website, and I'm able to, with one click, just import everything with the root URL. And I also gave it some best practices for social media posts. So I think building this whole bot only took me about like at most 10 minutes. So it's that easy. And the last bot I use very often is Coze Assistant, which is kind of a Q&A or customer service chatbot. So increasingly, a lot of startups or products have these user communities, and Discord is a very popular one, especially for AI products. So we also have our own Discord server with over, I think, 13,000 users in it, and every day we get so many questions on the product. These can be like just people don't know how to use it, or they have questions about specific features, or they want to report bugs, etc. And it takes a lot of manpower to address them one by one. So we built this Coze Assistant bot. The bot is trained on all of our documentation, and then we also keep a live document on the frequently asked questions, and then we train the bot on the FAQ as well. So as you can see, the user can just tag the bot in the Discord channel, and then the bot will be able to address their questions. And it's pretty accurate because we're training it on the custom knowledge. And it's also able to send the user the specific link where they can learn more. And I would say now this bot is able to help us address up to 70 to 80% of user queries. So this dramatically reduces the amount of manpower we need to manually answer these questions. And then under the hood is basically we prompt it to be like a Coze expert, and then we give it all the documentations and the FAQs. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So last, I just wanted to share a few lessons learned on how I've used AI as a marketer. So the first thing is we often say AI will replace jobs, but I actually think it's more like tasks because every job is consisted of many, many specific tasks. So one exercise we did as a marketing team is we basically made a sheet or a chart breaking down everything that we do as a team. So for example, if we're talking about a content marketing team, like writing blog posts, this might consist of SEO research, competitive research, creating the template, creating like specific article topics, etc. So very, very granular. And then for each task, we try to brainstorm, should it be AI or human? That's a better job. Or if AI can do it, how can it do it? Which tool is the best one? What's the prompt or best practice we can leverage? So I think this brainstorming exercise really helped us identify which parts of the workflow can AI really drive value, and how and which part of the workflow like we really need human to be in the loop. So I think it's always kind of a symbiotic relationship instead of a total replacement. And I think breaking down the job into very granular tasks really helps us identify the potential for AI and the best tools we can find. And then the second one is we often think of AI as being able to give us answers, but I sometimes find that it's sometimes even more useful to have AI ask questions, not just answer them. So for example, we can prompt the AI to be almost sort of like a coach that guides you through a process and just prompts you to think further. For example, clarifying your thoughts or making your brief more specific, like who is your target audience? What is your value proposition? So sometimes by asking the right questions, it will force you to think through things more clearly and achieve better results. So I think that's another technique where we can prompt the AI to not just answer questions, but also ask good questions. And the last one is just experiment and be patient. I think this is the worst AI we'll ever use, so this just improves every single day. So even though it may not be perfect today, I think we should just constantly try to make use of it in everyday use cases and just experiment a lot. And then lastly, I just wanted to recommend some resources that I personally have benefited from. So in terms of tools, like obviously you can use Coze to build your own AI chatbots. And I like using Gamma for AI pitch decks. And then Canva, CapCut both have some really cool AI features for design and video editing. And then Zapier is really good if you want to build these AI automation workflows. And then for books, I'm reading this book by Professor Ethan Malik, who is at Wharton. He has shared some really good, I think he's created, he's also a content creator, I think, yeah. And this book just came out like last month, I think. So it's the first book I found that actually talks about what is it, how can you live and work with AI? Or as like regular people, how do you make use of AI in your day-to-day life and work? And I found it to be really enlightening. And here are some podcasts I listen to that also has taught me a lot about AI happenings and use cases. And yeah, so if you want to try out Coze, you can just go to the website coze.com and you can get started. It's free. And then here's my LinkedIn if you want to stay connected. And lastly, I'm also a content creator on the side. So I have a video podcast where I interview AI power users and they showcase their AI use cases. So it's called Nailed It because I think a lot of the AI tools these days are hammers looking for nails. So when I see a use case where it's really clicked, like product market fit, I feel like, okay, they've nailed it. So I find the truly like AI power users who've consistently produced results with AI, and I interview them to show like how they're using it. So if you're interested, feel free to check it out. Yeah, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zara. Let's open it up for Q&A. I guess I'll ask the first question, and then we'll get the mic going. So Coze is a super amazing chatbot building tool. How does it compare to other tools, for instance, custom GPTs? How does Coze compare to custom GPTs?
Yeah, I think if you've built custom GPTs before, you will notice that it's very much prompt based. So you can prompt it with natural language through a back and forth dialogue. So in that sense, it's very user friendly. It's easy to get started. But if you want to build something really sophisticated, it's kind of limited. For example, it doesn't have like the plugin library where you can just connect with all these external tools. You would need to kind of code your own APIs or connectors. So that kind of requires a lot of coding knowledge. And then also, you wouldn't be able to achieve things like the multi-agent mode or workflows where in Coze you can actually have the AI do step-by-step complicated tasks. So I would say the upper limit of what you can build with Coze without code is a lot higher. And then the other piece is distribution. So for custom GPT, you would be able to only use it within ChatGPT itself. But if you build a chatbot in Coze, you can easily integrate your bot to the chat apps like Discord, Slack, etc. So in this sense, you can bring your bot to where the users already are.
Great. And right now you have GPT-4 running under the hood. Do you plan on introducing any other LLMs such as Gemini?
Yeah, so I think we're in the process of introducing Claude, Gemini, and like a lot of other LLMs down the road. So I guess that's another differentiator from GPTs is like we're going to support multiple large language models.
Okay, and Pavel?
Okay, my name is Pavel. Thank you for a great presentation. I actually have two questions. So the first one, how long ago did you launch your Coze product? Because I had a chance to look through your website and there are so many already chatbots. Like, how were you able to attract so many enthusiasts and customers to your service? And the second question, I'm a video editor guy, so which plugins did you use for your plugin Pixie? And I'm not sure it's gonna work because I know that currently this workflow is quite complicated to get a decent quality video. And do you usually use it in your video content production, your plugin?
Yeah, great question.
Thank you so much.
So on the first question, I think Coze was launched beginning of this year, so it's been like 3 to 6 months. And I think part of the reason it's grown quickly is we provided GPT-4 for free, so a lot of people just wanted to utilize that. And then also, I think once people discover it, there's a lot of viral word of mouth, so that's what helps us attract a lot of users in the early days. And then the second question, Pixie bot, I think they used definitely DALL-E for image generation. I think actually most of that bot is for storyboard and script generation. So on the video generation side, it's still very early days. I don't think it does a good enough job to generate like a usable video. For that, you would need like the most advanced, I don't know, Zara or something, but they don't have APIs yet. So currently, I think the builders, they use a lot of different workflows, and they actually build their own plugin to generate the storyboards and the video the video scripts. But I think its role in video creation now is more of a creative aid to help you brainstorm themes, angles, storyboards, visuals, etc. I don't think it's good enough to help you produce the eventual product yet.
Hi, I'm Quentin, a fellow product marketer, and I have a question around using more internal use cases. Like, I would love to build a bot just to answer sales teams' questions so they finally leave me alone. Like, have you seen like actual like internal bots created? And then do you also support like internal bot creation? Like, if I trained it on our internal data, like, is that safe?
Yeah. I would say if you're comfortable putting your internal data on GPT-4, then it's fine. Like, because the model we're using is GPT-4. Yeah, and totally you can use this for internal use. I think sales enablement is an awesome use case. So as a product marketer, I always had this pain point of like salespeople constantly asking me, okay, where is the latest pitch deck? Or can you send me the solution for this industry or this case study? So you can totally, first you need an internal knowledge base where all this material is organized, and then you can very easily import it into your chatbot and then just prompt it to answer it and then send the relevant links to sales. And then maybe you can integrate it into your internal Slack. So it should be pretty doable. Yeah.
Right on, thank you.
Yeah, I actually had like exactly the same question, because you have the Coze assistant for the the Discord server. Can you apply the same workflow to build for customers to build that on their own platform or tool? Any other questions from the audience right now?
Hello, my name is Yevgen, and I have two questions. One, can you look at the existing agents, what's under the hood, how they were created? And second, what's your business model?
Okay, so for under the hood, when you publish the bot, you can actually choose if you want your bot's configuration to be public or private. So if the developer chooses for the configuration to be public, then every user will be able to look under the hood, to look at the prompt, the backend configurations, etc. So it's really up to the developer if they want to open source the bot or not. In terms of business model, so we are charging tokens for API. So if you want to integrate this chatbot into your own products or service or website, then you would need to purchase tokens. We will also provide a monetization for creators down the road. So I think kind of similar to Poe, if you've used that before. So you can, if you have a really popular chatbot, you can have your users kind of pay for your tokens in a way. Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience? Let's see, one more question from me, Zara. Let's see, you were showing the repurposing Genie. You said it took about like maybe 10 minutes to build the bot. How long did it take for you to run the bot, to run through a transcription? So that's the first question. Second question, can you tell us a little bit more about the building process of constructing the bot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the transcription will depends on the length of the video. So I had a 10-minute video and it took maybe like 20, 30 seconds. Yeah. And then the building process, first I just read out a few sentences of what I wanted to do, and then I have AI optimize it, and then I just add the relevant plugins, and then add the custom knowledge, and then I test a few rounds to make sure it works and publish. So it's pretty straightforward, yeah.
Awesome. Let's give Zara a round of applause. Thank you so much,
Thank
Zara.
you.
Great job. Okay. Amazing. Zara will be here for networking at 8 o'clock too, so if there's any other follow-up questions for Zara or Evan for that matter, please talk to them at 8 o'clock. And with that, I'd like to introduce our final presenter for the evening, Chongkal. Chongkal is the co-founder and CRO of Tely AI. And the title of Chongkal's talk is Run B2B Content Marketing with an Autonomous AI Agent. So without further delay, let's hear from Chongkal.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chongkal. I'm the co-founder at Tely AI. Here is my co-founder, Arena, also here. So to give a little bit about my background, I've been a founder for like last 10 years since I was in the university, and I've been wearing a lot of hats. But my main focus was what is currently called as like revenue officer, revenue manager, basically trying to find ways how you can grow organically, how you can generally get leads for the company. So right now we are working on Tely, and the main problem that we are trying to solve is it's a little bit different from what Zara has been sharing about the. It's basically right now two models, whether the agents and the whole thing would be more of the co-pilot thing, and you as the marketer going to interact for certain tasks with an AI to produce the final results. And there's also the other part of the spectrum that for, okay, full screen? Okay. And for some of the tasks, there are going to be autonomous AI agents who are basically going to do the all your manual work end to end, and you're going to observe finally like the high level process. So like if, let's say, you are head of the marketing and you are like, instead of finding out the content marketer, the SEO marketer, and just you're just briefing them to do the job. You're just observing, giving the feedback, they interpreting that feedback, but you don't have to teach them any techniques. You don't have to teach them basically how to do the job. They out of the box are doing the job fine. And the main use case that we're trying to solve is how B2B companies can generate leads, basically. And there are free channels that are available. You can do the sales outreach, you can do performance marketing, and you can do the content marketing. And like our niche is the SEO content marketing. And the main problem when you are trying to do the content marketing B2B, you need to hire a person who is understanding your industry, who understands your product, and who understands SEO to do the job. And it's very hard. So like most of the company, I've been there, like I had a team of like 5 people that produced 5-6 blogs every other month. And I hired the head of content who have been teaching about the industry, what we're doing, like why we're doing it, about everything basically. Then teaching the product, and then teaching the SEO, and finally, like out of several months of work, you will start getting pretty much good results. And for many B2B companies, there is like, it's the only way, because for example, if you are a B2B company who's doing sustainable aviation fuel, let's say, there's like no content marketer who understands the industry, your product, besides the founder. And you have to find someone who's going to write about it. I mean, it's really hard. So our main idea that for these cases, instead of hiring a person, you can create an autonomous AI expert who's going to learn your industry, who's going to learn your product, who's going to perform SEO research and start generating expert level articles that are describing the problem, presenting your product, and finally generating you leads. So basically, I'll just do the high level how it works and then show you the demo on our product. So basically, the first thing is to like learn about your product, scan everything, your documentation, your help, everything. Then the idea is to start scanning the industry-related content, like blog posts, papers, books that are related to the article it's going to create. So it builds the industry-related knowledge when it's creating the articles. Then it performs the SEO optimization, and not only the SEO optimization, but researches the keywords, like finding out the high buying intent keywords, selecting them, because also when it's part of the job if you want this thing to work. And then it starts publishing the content for you, creating a content plan, automatically integrated with your CMS system, whether Webflow, WordPress, publishes, tracks with the Google Search Console that your article has been indexed by Google, shows whether it has showed traffic. If it's not doing it, it just like asks Google to index your website so you can start getting the traffic. So I'll just like show this example. It's maybe something wouldn't be seen, but I try to articulate so you get the idea. So basically how the first step is to set up this AI expert. So first, you're just given a link on your company, and we are creating a sort of a summary that we put as the first context, let's say, for an AI agent, so it understands your industry, your product, your unique value proposition, all of this stuff. On the next step, you are selecting the country for which you're going to perform SEO. So basically, SEO is very country specific, so people are Googling differently in every other country, and the keywords respectively are different. Then you're selecting the industries for which AI agent is going to work for. So let's say you can produce content for SaaS, you can produce for digital marketing agencies, for startups. And here, it just also shows up why this kind of an industry can benefit from using your product, and all of this additionally is being used as context. Then it asks you about high probability buyer personas, who is going to be the end readers of your website, like what are their roles. Right now it's kind of crude working, but and right now, let's say we generate a number of titles, and then we're checking it with the Apollo API that these roles actually exist in the world. But on the later stages, as we are also, this AI agent is also running a block on your behalf, so it can basically understand, like, I guess many of you have used Clearbit, like what type of company is it? It can predict whether it's like this kind of the marketing director, and can additionally like personalize on the go the how the article is going to look like, what CTAs are going to use there. And based on the information that you provide with the industry, your target audience, the information about the product, it initializes an expert. So when we're presenting it to clients, we're basically saying, imagine you are like going to Upwork, trying to hire someone, and you are basically reading the CV, and you want this person to be an expert in your field. So just so it basically understand what you are selling to produce the content that's not only going to be SEO optimized, but that is going to be an expert level, and that will basically convert. Because in B2B, when you're reading, let's say, taking the same example of sustainable aviation fuel, it could be a situation that it's like GPT-like article written by non-expert, and finally you're gonna read it if you find it on Google and it's well SEO optimized, but nobody's going to convert from it just because it's non-expert. Nobody believes that you can solve the problem that you're talking about. Then there's like, if you, like, let's say technical steps that you can set up the tone of voice, and you can just select there's the same article title, the same paragraph written in 3 different styles. So you can basically select what kind of style you more prefer. Also, you can add the, usually as we are taking the website and as we're working with the startups, they don't have enough information on their website, sometimes it's Notion, PDFs, internal documents that they're currently having, so they can put up in there. So we just also using it as the context about how your product works, so we can include it within the articles. Then this is the typical step in the SEO. You're creating a topical map. So basically, you're trying to create all of the relevant topics to what your company is doing, all the problem that is related to. So finally, agent can research keywords for these topics and find the good ones that we can target. Additionally, when you can list your competitors up in here, so they're not being mentioned within the articles. And also, there's like quite typical strategy when you're a startup and you just steal the keywords of your larger competitor. So it's pretty common, and you can do it here. So after this, we just like collecting all of the keywords like that we can find from the competitors, from the topics. We're going to Google search API and just like continue returning all of the keywords. Then we're trying to prioritize them. So the basic idea when you are doing the SEO is that many people start targeting like very high volume keywords, and they are ignoring two other factors that are like very much important if you want to get leads, not only the traffic. So basically, it's the first is the keyword difficulty. So it basically shows how competitive your keyword is. And for example, if you are published the keyword, whether you at least have a chances that you're gonna pop in top 10 results and get any organic traffic. And the second thing is what business intent your keyword has, because you can, like the most popular article on HubSpot is how to edit a GIF with Photoshop. So it's absolutely not related to what HubSpot is doing, but generally, like, of course they have the larger volumes and like maybe someone is interested to have a CRM. But for many B2B companies, the whole idea is to select the keywords that are having buying intent. So for example, if someone is, let's say, selecting keyword AI-driven content marketing, there's like a high chance that this person could be interested in what Tely AI is doing, rather than I write an article for carpet cleaner SEO. Yeah, just, but it's still good. They can do it with us, but yeah, given the idea. So all of these keywords, they are going through like approval process. So you basically rather can approve them. You can upload your own keywords if you have them from Ahrefs or SEMrush. But basically, you can use what you have from us. So the next thing is that you start having a content plan for every other month. This content plan is automatically generated, like depending on your schedule, whether you're, right now it's kind of primitive, so it's free for like just the exact number of articles without any, let's say, adjustments when you can not publish in weekends, let's say. You can do the articles automatically. So in here, you connect integrations to one of your publishing platforms. Like if you don't have the blog right now, it's also like kind of a challenge. We're setting up a blog on the Go CMS, like out of the box, connected there. And you can also, we also connect to the Google Search Console because it's the primary source of the information that we have about how the blog is basically performing. And also there's like some steps that usually right now being done manually. So for example, you publish the keyword, but Google for some reason not indexed it. You need to go manually check it, like ask Google to do it with their interface. All these steps are also automated, so it's basically makes it like no-brainer for you. So we just basically know that all articles that are being published, they get indexed. You can additionally configure within the articles, we generate infographics. Like we're currently like extending, we call them like context plugins with photos, like rendering markdown quotes. So it's like all in the end, it's going to look like a very professional B2B article, like end to end, basically. we generate hero images. You can also configure what you want to include within the articles, whether like you want to include solution context, like information about your product within the articles, external links that are being used to create every other section, charts, call to actions. You can also humanize. Some people are like requesting that AI needs to be humanized, so it's not being AI detected. Right now, it's not being punished by Google. They basically want to see the good, the articles that is like answering to this EAT framework, basically. So you need to provide expertise, affordability, trust to your article. And there was like a recent study called Generative Engine Optimization, which highlights the factors that are currently being prioritized by search engines like Perplexity, and also this search generative experience by Google. So what is going to be prioritized, how Google is basically calculating the quality of the article based on its content. Yeah, I could like share if someone is interested during the network session. So the last thing is the content. Basically, it's not being generated, like many of you use ChatGPT or Jasper, like, or any other tool. The main problem with, it's not the problem. Basically, when you are generating an article with them, you get an instant answer. And you can, of course, do like, say, write me a keyword, write me like with this title, and it's going to create you sort of the draft. But the main game when you are trying to create a good quality article with the ChatGPT, you are start collecting the context. So let's say you're trying to find out relevant case studies, relevant report data. You're trying to find out relevant quotes, relevant information about your product, and it's all being like more human enabled. But our main idea is that we are trying to collect all this context automatically, basically, and we are scoring every other article around 100 parameters. So it's basically not going public if it's not meets the quality benchmarks. So let's say if the keyword density is not right and we're having some specific workflow that is like checking that in every section, like on every number of words, the keyword is matched. It's not like oversaturated, not less saturated. The number of sources that we're using for every other article is around 50 to 60 other different articles, papers, from which we extracting data. So like quotes, report data, case study. So when you're already like reading an article, it basically like not containing the like general information that you usually see when you're generating content with LLM models, but you're seeing facts. So you're just like seeing some real quotes from the people, some recent studies. You're seeing the external links that it has been used, that it's referenced. The infographics also being generated with the context that has been found used. Right now, you can like take a look and like see the sources. Just basically, it's not very well looking, but basically just shows for which section, which content, which other article has been used. Later we're going to add some blacklists, whitelists, so like which you want to use, which you don't want to use, how you want to extract this data. It could be like getting more and more complicated, like meeting the higher and higher standards of like work for the B2B marketer. So yeah, I guess this is it. Generally, the whole problem that we have, I'm definitely agree with Zara that's going to be like two ways how the AI is going to be in our lives. Partly it would be co-pilots, especially for professions where there's like a lot of people working and they compete because AI is like, it's also spending money. It just like, there's a price for like every object that's gonna be created by human and the AI in the end. But for many use cases where like the market is, let's say, not saturated, and we are seeing it especially for the B2B marketing, like because most B2B marketers are like, they don't exist basically, like most of these things have never been marketed. That's why we're seeing and believing what we are doing. Yeah, so this is it.
Thank you, Chongkal. Great presentation. Let's open it up for Q&A. We have some time. And just as a reminder, if you could please stand, that way we could see you a little better, and just pass the mic when you're done.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I had a question. I've noticed I've used the last 2 years foundation models to generate a lot of text, and they do a good job, but I really feel I have to proofread everything. Little errors pop in. Let's say earlier in your talk you mentioned a sustainable aviation fuel company, and it's a small company. The content's being generated. I'm a firm believer that you can proofread something faster than you can read it, or than you can write it, so there's still value. But would you coach him to say, hey, our tool's going to generate a lot of content, you might still want to read it? Or as your model evolved, where it's like, hey, aviation president, don't sweat it, the content will be rock solid?
So I maybe missed the question. Like can you just?
Would you coach the aviation president about the danger of hallucinations? Like, hey, this will generate white papers, this will generate content, but it's my understanding that the state of the art today, you still have to be wary of that.
Yeah.
But a B2B president who may not be plugged into AI might just go, wow, look at all this cool stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
But I would recommend him to invest time to double check. Has your model evolved where he doesn't need to do that? Or what are your thoughts on my question?
Basically, foundational LLM models, they are having hallucinations in its architecture. They're going to hallucinate forever. So the main thing that we are currently doing is first that you are providing a verified context data. So basically, like currently we're not that like big startup for now, and we've been doing two things. First is how we are finding out relevant context, and then we are scoring it. So we are basically not saying write about this thing without a context. So we're just saying write about this, but using these 3-4 resources, like updated with the case study, updated with the quote, updated, and we're trying to verify that this information exists somewhere. Like the second thing that we're doing, we're using fact-checking APIs. So basically, like we are trying to also take a look at and score it. And these are two things that we're currently doing. But generally, I think in marketing, it's not that substantial problem. Generally, when you're doing the content marketing and marketing content, because people are interacting with it, let's say 90 seconds, 100 seconds, something. And they just like doing some, let's say, they're just briefly trying to like understand whether like you using some words, some phrases where the content is looking expert level. They're like not trying to like make all the logical conclusions, etc. But generally there are techniques that, so when, let's say, we're currently not using, but we can implement it later. You can build a tree of the facts basically before using them when you are generating the content. So you're basically given the idea of the, let's say, what is right and what is wrong based on some system. And when it's going to create content, if we are like generated some section, we're just like not only verifying with the facts, but we also like verifying that it's like not counter logical, like based on all the content we collected. Like later on, you can like, it's all about the context basically. You can later take the opinions like of you. Let's say we're just saying we want to produce a new article for some specific keyword, and there's like some relevant news that popped out in sustainable aviation fuel space like 1 week ago. Do you want to comment it? And you're just saying, I hate like what is written in this news, and we're trying to like add it within your article. So we're just like producing, let's say, more opinionated content. Like it's generally, yeah, I guess, yeah, that would be answers. I hope I answered it.
One last question. You mentioned a fact-checking API. Is that proprietary, or are those something I can just find on Google?
You can find on Google. There's like plenty of them. Yeah.
Good,
just,
good.
yeah.
Okay, next question for Chongkal. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Great presentation. One question. So there has been recent announcements by Google that they would be cracking down on AI-generated content. So what are your comments on that?
There was like 4 updates beaten in AI spam. And basically what most of the people did who were like try to create a lot of the AI content, they just found a keyword. They asked ChatGPT to create a keyword of an article for this keyword. They generated the image with Tely and published it on the web. So they haven't found any contextual information that makes this content unique, basically. So there's like no new facts that hasn't been, let's say, present in this B2B content way, let's say. And they have been seriously downgraded. Like they have seen some website have been downgraded for 90%, etc. Our main idea from the very beginning when we started to creating, our end goal is like not to generate content with AI. Our main idea is to create high quality content that is going to convince people to buy a product. It's like slightly different task, which requires to find a lot of the contextual information, really like understand within LLMs your industry, your product. So I guess like 50% of marketers, like I've seen stats somewhere, like are using ChatGPT for creating content. Like I think it would be even larger. Like many are going to use autonomous like tools of different kinds to produce more and more content, and finally all of the content would be AI generated, but it will be different in quality. So it's finally about the means of production, by the finally end goal, which companies are going to find a way to produce high quality content that people love to read. Yeah, so.
Any other questions for Chongkal? We have some more time.
Yeah, there is a question.
Oh,
yeah,
there is.
Yeah.
Look at this. Hey.
Great product. Thank you so much for the presentation. And for those of us who are using other CMS, such as we're using October CMS, do you have any webhook functionality where we can call an API and that publishes in our CMS?
No, currently we don't have. Right now, we are just offering, in this case, we have 2 ways. We can rather like export as an archive, like every other month, and just like take the markup files and publish them, or which is not recommended. But some people take this. And the other way, we can set up the blog for you. So we just basically create a subdomain blog.yourcompany.com, and we can host the Go CMS website separately there, and it's just like going to collect only organic traffic on it. And yeah, that's also another way.
All right, so I was also looking at your website. I couldn't find pricing.
Yeah.
So is it
the pricing is $500 every month.
Okay.
We publish at least 100 articles, and generally the whole idea is like in 3 months to, if you're, let's say, 0 domain rating, and if you don't have at all any traffic, which is typical for startups, we are reaching like 100, 200 organic traffic like within 3 months. So
All
just that's what we target, but it could be extended with larger volume of publishing.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ahmad. Any other questions? I think we have time for probably one more question. Let's do it. Thanks.
Hello. Do you have experience with blogs that already have some traffic?
Like, can you just,
Like
I don't know how
they
to answer
already
yes.
have good domain rating, like, I don't know, 80s or something.
Yeah,
like higher one.
Yeah, we basically have several companies who already had traffic, like in substantial traffic, let's
like
say,
in thousands or more.
like tens of thousands, like usually in B2B space, that's more like of this kind of traffic, like tens of thousands. Yeah, just yeah. If you have some specific questions, so basically, like the only thing that we are like trying to do, we try to exclude the keywords that you already indexed for, and like where you rank high, and just like selecting like the other keywords for which we're going to produce content. So that's the only difference, let's say, in terms of approach.
Thank you.
Chongkal, we have a question from LinkedIn.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Christopher Thompson wants to know, hey, Christopher, what is your willingness to collaborate with organizations and studios in general? So
Like affiliate program or something.
perhaps it's a pricing question.
I'm ready to collaborate.
He's ready. Okay. Well, Christopher's in the chat on the LinkedIn Live.
Okay.
So that's great. And I think that's it. We're at time. So I kind of like to keep the Q&A going, but we're out of time. So thanks so much, Chongkal. Really
Thanks, guys.
appreciate it. Okay. If you guys had a good time tonight and enjoyed yourselves, please mention you're here on Twitter or LinkedIn. Tag our page, like or follow. We post a lot of content on our LinkedIn page. You can find the live stream of this whole evening. Fast forward, pause it, do what you need to do. So check it out. And we also post edited versions of each talk. So follow our LinkedIn page. You'll see that content there if you're interested. So we'd appreciate it. Our meetup page is a good place to find future events. So we do an event almost every week. In fact, in 4 weeks, we'll do this again, AI for marketers. Next week, we have AI for designers. In 2 weeks, we have AI for developers, same place. So check it out. For example, AI for marketers will be on June 12th, AI for designers next week, May 22nd, and AI for developers on May 29th. You can see the whole speaker lineup on the meetup page, so check it out and see if you might be interested. And with that, I think we're going to start open mic, so we just have a few minutes. And what you can do is if you'd like to speak, just come up to where I'm standing. You can queue up right here and introduce yourself to the LinkedIn live audience, but also just people in person in real life before we have some pizza and enjoy. So this is by request, by the way. So some good examples are like job openings, product announcements, startup ideas. You could just say hello. Let's limit the announcements to 60 seconds, but you could just take 15 seconds. In fact, I think I'll do the first announcement if that makes everyone feel comfortable. And it'll be like an example, okay? But I have a slide, so it's sort of cheating. But our community partner, Design Buddies, is hosting a conference on Monday here in San Francisco. So Design Buddies, if you're not familiar, is led by Grace Ling. And it's a very engaging community. The conference is here in San Francisco at Fort Mason, and it is a hybrid conference. So you can join for free online, virtually. If you'd like to attend in person, it is $89. You can check out her speaker lineup, but Fort Mason, Gallery 308, I don't know if you've been there, but it's like a stunning building left over from the industrial military complex of the United States of America. And lots of buildings. And it's a great empty space for this conference. She has a ton of sponsors there, Bezi, Adobe, and speakers from those companies as well. So there's a lot of great content. Check it out. And that's my announcement. So back to you guys. Who wants to make an announcement? Look at this. This is how it's done. Come on up.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Mariana. I'm not a marketer, I'm a developer, and recently I launched a project that helps people to find apartment in San Francisco. And I took a dog patch district as my MVP, and you can find it at dogpatchapartments.com. And if any of you marketers have tips with marketings, I'm all ears. You can find me afterwards at the pizza place. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. What a great announcement. MVP for finding an apartment in San Francisco. That's great. Okay, next announcement.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Santi. I am the CTO of the agency. So we built this company 2 months ago. We're very early. What we do basically is build AI agents to automate all your data analytics for marketing. So if any of you marketers have struggled parsing through tons of metadata or Facebook data or Twitter data or Google Analytics, you know how troublesome and time consuming it could be. We're running AI agents that reduce all that time to just minutes and seconds, and we are looking for design partners. If any of you are interested in working with us, we have an MVP up and running, and we'd love to get your feedback, and I'll be here eating pizza if you guys want to try out the product. Thank you.
Santi, great announcement. Great name. Are you named after Santi, the pop singer from Colombia? Santiago Cruz. See what she says. Okay, let's go.
Hi, everyone. Content creators have a powerful voice in this world. Some of them are reaching millions or even tens of millions of people each week on social media. And they're using their influence to sell t-shirts and do brand deals with Chipotle. And those are great, but I think they could be doing more. I think they could be pioneering tech companies that are improving the lives of their communities. And if you want to learn more on how I'm working toward this mission, my name is Mike. I'll be eating pizza.
Mike, thanks for the announcement. Anyone else? Please come on up.
Hi, I'm Rihanna, and I'm from Mother Tongue AI. And we just recently launched this business unit here in San Francisco last March, so we're fresh on the scene. But we have been working with AI for, I think, 4 years now, in different use cases. But most recently, we have been involved with generative AI, and so we provide services on user alignment as well as bot persona development. So if you need a little bit of swag for your AI bots that you're building, hopefully we can connect. And one announcement from us is that we're gonna have a table at the summit coming up in 2 weeks. So it's the Gen AI Summit, if that's okay to say. Yeah, so we have a table there, and of course, because we're new in the area, it will be great to have familiar faces to talk to if you're joining that event as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Rihanna. We have a time for a few more quick announcements. Come on up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cyber Shakti. I started out on the blockchain space as an artist, and now I put my two hands together. One is blockchain, one is AI, and help people create user-generated content. And so far, we've had like amazing traction on the new social that is Farcaster. And I feel like now is the time to sort of take this to the next level. I'm building a blockchain-powered ad network where users generate content using AI and marketers get these users to make posters for them. We are called poster.fun. So to cut it short, we help memers get paid for their templates. We are having a lot of fun, and we are defining the new age marketing and advertising space. So let's connect over pizza.
Okay, thank you very much. Ahmad? Let's do two more.
Hey everybody, so as we can see, most of the startups are using technology, and technology is built by developers. And me being an ex-developer, now I'm into management, sadly, but we provide developers to other startups and enterprises. So if you're interested in hiring developers, we do have a pool of talented folks. Let's chat over pizza, and my name is Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's do one last announcement.
Awesome, just made it in for the last one there. Hey everybody, I'm just looking for all the AI movie creators out there that are maybe harnessing the power of AI. Would love to talk to you and see if we can help you get your name out there. My name is Jack, or Giacomo Bonavera. That's probably gonna be too hard for you guys to find, so maybe look for the company Izzit, IZSIT. Awesome, thank you very much for a great event.
You got it, Jack, or Giacomo. It's pretty close. That's my Italian name, Giacomo. I'm Jackson, actually, but it's the closest thing. Okay, well, thank you so much for the announcements, guys. And that's my email if you need it. Let's enjoy some pizza and build some community and get to know each other. Thank you very much.